Good morning, everyone. Hope you are well. Apologies for the slight delay. Today's learning is dedicated in memory of Leah Bas Bible, Harab Yaakov Tzipin, David Aryeh, Tzipin Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Sipar Rafei, Gala Bas Ruben Baruch, Shalom ben Eleli, Ben Bas Bible, from Shoshana Bas Yaakov Shmuel, Caleb, Bela Bas Henach, Yirmiyahu Chia ben Moshe Eliezer, Shalom Malka Bas Ben Yomen, Shlomo Chia ben Moshe Levi, Avram Mordechai ben Moshe Katna, as well as the Yort sites for today. Jacob ben Chaim Feynman, Mata ben Moshe Cohen Gordon, Mata Herschel ben Mordechai Davidson, Esther Bas David Craig. Wish each and every one of their respective families long life and only simchas. How are you keeping? How's everyone doing? Hope you're all well. Good morning, Peter. Mervyn, Rachel, David, Richard, Carol, Michael, and anyone that I've missed out. Says the Mishnah. Yeah, we started this yesterday. Yesterday we were discussing that our houses are meant to be conduits for learning, and we spoke about the Jewish continuity with our sages and our teachers. And now we move on to discuss about what else, how else should our homes be? How wide open should our lives and our homes be? Yosef ben Yochanan Ifshalayim Omer used to say, Yibeitzcha pasuach l'revocha, that your house should be open wide. Why does it say wide? Right? Says the commentary Rashi, Pasuach la'arba ruchas likanes ovrei drachim. You should be open on all four sides to allow guests to come. Let me explain to you. Think about the chuppah. Okay? Good morning, Edwin, Richard, Michael, Caroline, Harry. Everyone's back. Richard, again. When we come to a chuppah, we're all familiar with the fact that it is the most unusual structure. We're familiar with it and we're used to it, and we don't appreciate it because we see it, or we used to see it so often. But for any non-Jew, if you tell them, yeah, that symbolizes the Jewish home, right? Well, they'll say, well, what type of structure is that? You know, it doesn't have any walls, and the walls secure it and keep it and ensure that you have security. But the idea of the four sides being open represents the tent of Abraham and Sarah that was open on all four sides. And therefore, whenever you're something that's open totally, then it means that there is space for anyone and everyone to be able to descend, to join. If it's open to a certain amount, a certain degree, Rashi is pointing out on Pirkei Avos that it means that you may decide, you may determine, you may filter those that are coming in, those that are not. That is the challenge for us. You know, it's easy to say, I have an open home, I have hospitality, and everyone and anyone, and you'll have in mind who I'm friendly with or who is like-minded. That's the type of person that I let in. I have an open home. Open house policy. They tell the story. Firstly, you should know, Mr. Reich, and this isn't a plug, but just to tell you a fact, that every single Shabbos before lockdown, not now, but before lockdown, there would be a delivery van, like one he was doing an event outside his home, and he would have his staff lift out trays and trays and trays of food. Every Shabbos, he made in his home, like for a wedding, he had tens and 50 people, you know, you would have guests, people that he had no idea who they were. It was just a go-to place that people knew. If you need a meal, if you're a mashulach, if you're collecting, if you're feeling lonely, you don't need to explain. You come from out of town. Mr. Reich was the one that would host you, and not only that, he had a second home. He has a second home, and many times people that come collecting for people for operations, they come for all different needs from Israel and the very poor. He allows them to stay in this home for absolutely nothing. Clearly, that is what the Mishnah is referring to, right? The other thing is that there's a story. I apologize, I've forgotten. Oh, yeah. It was Jackie Levinson from Stamford Hill. I don't know if Edwin, you know him or knew him. Jackie Levinson similarly had an open house policy to such a degree that he allowed people to stay in his own home for however long they wanted. So imagine somebody came from Israel, people came on business, and literally people made the most. Machaleben, they made the most of the opportunity and they stayed with him. So one person was sitting next to Jackie Levinson, and he's a very humble person. I met him, and he was saying, having a discussion, how long you've been coming here? He says, "Oh, I've been coming here for 10 years." So then the guest turned to Jackie Levinson, the owner of the house, the host, and he said to him, "And how long have you been coming here?" He says, "Oh, I've been coming here for 40 years." So the visitor said to the host, he says, 40 years, now that's a chutzpah. So that's the type of approach. Okay, maybe it's the ideal, of course, the paragon that we should be aiming for, to have an open home policy like Mr. Reich, like Mr. Levinson. I can give you countless examples of people that behave like this. You call them up on a Friday, and you get, they're waiting for guests. In fact, it was very funny that there are certain places in Jerusalem where they have long tables in the summer outdoors, al fresco, and they invite all the yeshiva boys and sometimes the girls, some girls as well, and all the guests from around the world, people from different places, old, young. So it's a real melting pot. Anyways, so my son wanted to experience this, Yosef, and he went to one of these homes. And afterwards, we said to him, "Where did you go for Friday night this week?" And he told us where he went, and we said, "You should know that we had a connection to this couple, and 25 years ago we went to the same place that you went to." So people get reputations for having open house policies. Now listen to the rest of the Mishnah. Poor people should be members of your household. What does that mean? We're to impoverish our youngsters? No. It means that when somebody are down and out, when somebody who may not look quite the way we would like to look, maybe a bit unkempt, maybe going through all types of issues, and they're sitting at your table, they should be b'nei beisecha, members of your household. Then the Mishnah goes on to say something which is startling and is going to cause tremendous offense. So allow me to explain. It goes like this: usually the host is the one who invites people and invites them in. But he says the Mishnah, don't have extensive, overextensive conversations with women. What is the danger here? There has to be boundaries in life. However much we want to say that we can have an open house policy and everyone can stay as much as they want and we're going to talk and we're going to mingle, in Judaism there always has to be limitations. There has to be boundaries. And the Torah puts in the boundaries so that hopefully we keep on the straight and narrow, and we don't put ourselves in compromising positions. It's clear that if you have an unboundaried life as a host, as a man, we're referring to a man here, then there is a danger that you are going to eventually compromise on the standards of modesty that you should have, and in relation to a woman. Doesn't say you can't ever as your guest. Doesn't say you can't talk to her. It says al tarbeh sicha ima isha. It means that you may not have extensive conversations, deep engaging conversations, right? In other words, of course, things that are essential, or somebody visits somebody, they want advice, but where it is that there is this over familiarity, then we all know in contemporary society that poses a danger. So I think the reason why this is juxtaposed here is because on the one hand, we're saying in terms of hospitality, entertaining, dealing with people in society, we want everyone to feel welcome. We've got an open house policy. But on the other hand, we have to have boundaries in terms of our personal conduct. Okay, we're going to stop there because it's late. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that fascinating Mishnah. We'll continue next time. And now we continue, and lovely to see Edwin, I would say, looking so well on Facebook. I've seen the pictures. I haven't seen you yet, but thank God you're back to full health, good health, as well as Andrea Pass is usually on here. Lovely to see everyone out of hospital. Hope everyone is keeping well. Okay, let's go on. So, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. Adon Elamim Zacho Es Nishmos Leah Bas Vayvo Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi ben David Ari Sachs Sivia Bas Mordechai Avram ben David Slavin Sibir Begel Bas Ruben Baruch Shalom ben Eli ben Bas Vayvo for Moshe Shalom Yaakov Shmuel Caleb ben Levi Henoch Yim Yaochia ben Moshe Lietzes Samach Bas ben Yamin Shlomo Chia ben Moshe Levi ben Yeshua Levi Avram ben Mordechai ben Moshe Katna Yotzai Yaakov ben Chaim Feynman Matzah ben Chaim Cohen Gordon Herschel ben Mordechai Davidson Esther Bas David Craig Shalom Lilamam Tegad Aiden Taimanu Chasam Lachem Balarachamim Yatrim Besisakana Pablelamim Vietos Chetnish Vasam Adina Yanachlasam Vianucha Bishlamish Kabam Venamar Amen. Refu Shleima lastly Misha Berch Hamsin Ramis Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Yivarech Rebbe Sachailim Babo Shanim Mispalim Babo Ram Vizchas HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachem Aleihem Lachman Posam Yishlachim Refu Shleim Shmaim Lachalorim Besoch Shachu Yisrael Refuas HaNefesh Revuz Aguf Hashem B'Gizmaka Rivin Omar Amen. Wish everyone well. It was fascinating last night. If you didn't get the opportunity to listen to Sivan, listen to her today on YouTube. Absolutely blew us away last night. And we're looking forward to being in conversation, or I am looking forward to being in conversation over Dignity of Difference, Rabbi Sachs's book. I'll be having a conversation with Rabbi Daniel Friedman from Norris Lee. That'll be on Facebook this week. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. That's tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And we've got Burst of Inspiration on Thursday night. And the next week, we have Friday, Kabbalah Shabbat. And then we have next week, of course, the Jewish Impact is back on Monday night. Take care, look after yourselves, keep well,